Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
As we prepare and remain vigilant amid the coronavirus pandemic, the GUT Credit Union remains committed to serving you and your family in the safest way possible. We have increased the frequency of cleaning and sanitizing all branches and ATMs throughout the day. In an effort to maintain the protocols of social distancing, we encourage you to use the ATMs to conduct simple transactions. For your protection and convenience, our officers are available to conduct business via telephone if needed. As a member, if you are facing financial challenges as a result of the pandemic, please contact us to discuss the range of flexible options available to you. More information can be obtained by calling 440-1354, emailing gutcu@spicile.com, or visiting www.gutcu.com. Together, we can successfully navigate through this time. GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
This is the GBN Television News for Tuesday, the 7th day of April 2020. In the headlines, COVID-19 testing to be done in Grenada. Acting Chief Medical Officer recognizes nurses, especially those at community health centers, on World Health Day. Earthquake felt across St. George, including Molyneux. Poultry farmers want to be considered as essential workers. Coming up in the sports news, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force can tell you Red Force coach Mervyn Dillon remains confident of retaining his contract. And in Around the Globe, GCOM wants CARICOM team for recount. We'll bring you the details in just a moment.
This is GBN, the nation's news leader. This segment is brought to you by Quartz Grenada Limited.
Despite the situation we now face, one thing is for certain. We will get through this together. As much as we are a part of your community, you are a part of who we are. Let's take care of each other during this time, as we always do. And soon, we know that with the dawn of that new day, all of this will be over, and our land will once again be healed. In the meantime, stay safe. Know that we're here for you. Quartz, bringing value home.
Hello, this is News at 7. Good evening, I'm Kenroy, Baptiste. No more relying on the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARICOM, to test samples for Grenadians suspected of the coronavirus. Grenada says it now has the ability to do its own testing. Cherry and Blackman Stephen has more.
Transporting COVID-19 samples to the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARICOM, to confirm tests and to send the results back to Grenada, which takes days, will not be needed at this time. That's because COVID-19 coordinator Dr. George Mitchell says Grenada is now at a stage to conduct its own testing for COVID-19 coronavirus. Dr. Mitchell informed the nation about this development on Monday night during a news conference.
In terms of priorities, at the moment, our number one priority is to test persons who have been exposed or in contact with persons who have been positive. So that's our first and immediate and our greatest priority at this time. The second priority for us in terms of testing are going to be persons who healthcare workers, for example, who have been on the front line. And not only healthcare workers, COP, but police officers who have been on the front line, and anybody who have responded in some way to a COVID-19 case. And our third priority is going to be anybody at this time who comes down with some form of viral illness, so that we are not just narrowing ourselves to persons who have potential exposure, but just in case we have anybody out there, we are also going to be looking.
Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Francis Martin, in an exclusive interview with GBN on Tuesday, said that the ability to test on island will push health officials in a different level. He refers to as gear number 3.
Well, that new phase is beginning now as we speak. We have collected some samples today. We have some planned again for tomorrow. And then, of course, we wait to see what is going to be at the end of the week. It is the beginning for us, so it is impossible to give minute details because there is so much that is unknown. So let us just see what the rest of the week goes like, and that will put us in a better place to be more accurate with what our expectations are in the coming weeks.
Dr. Martin said that samples were collected on Monday and Tuesday, and the first batch of local testing is expected later this week. Meanwhile, Dr. Martin told GBN that the results of the last batch of samples sent to CAFA are yet to be received. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
Well, several Grenadians in the diaspora are among the thousands who have died from COVID-19 in the United States. Chrislina John has been speaking with journalist Kellan Bob, a Grenadian living and experiencing the nightmare in the U.S.
The coronavirus is no respecter of persons. The virus to date has claimed the lives of over 76,000 people worldwide. The sad reality is that some Grenadians in the diaspora are part of these statistics. Kellan Bob spoke of some of the hardest hit areas, such as Brooklyn, Queens, and other areas within a certain radius of New York, which is heavily populated with Grenadians. He fears the reality of the impact when this is over.
I've heard of just anecdotal stories of Grenadians who would have either contracted the COVID-19 or Grenadians who would have succumbed, unfortunately, to the virus. And so, yes, Chrislina, I think when all of this is over, the death toll that would have impacted the Grenadian community would be significant.
What does it feel like living in a country where freedom has been restricted in order to save lives? Bob explains what life now feels like for him. His nights are sleepless, he says, worrying not about himself, but Grenadians who are in the medical field and those who work with senior citizens.
It's quite, anxiety-inducing. You feel like you are imprisoned, quite frankly, that you're in a prison just by, following the guidelines of staying home, right? It is not something that I would have ever imagined I would have to experience in my lifetime. And so it can affect your mental health, just having to stay inside all the time, and just this looming threat of this invisible lethal killer, right?
Would you wait till someone in your family dies before you adhere to the regulations that says stay home? Here's Kellan's advice.
Just stay home. I mean, just follow guidelines. The fact that the government, not only in Grenada but throughout the Caribbean, is taking this approach is because they're trying to protect life and limb, right? They're trying to ensure that people's lives are protected. You will die. You have the potential of dying. Right now, and under the current sort of environment, and the way that this is set up, you will not be getting the kind of send-off when you die. If you don't stay inside, you will die.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, during his address to the nation on April 6th, said they have reached out to obtain statistics on those who have been adversely affected by the virus.
We have asked our embassies abroad to attempt to give us a listing. In fact, we thought it was necessary from many standpoints, but also to ensure that we can make contact with the families and offer our condolences in this very touching time for all of them. So that is something in the work.
Christelina John, GBN.
The World Health Organization has chosen 2020 as the year of the nurse and midwife. Today, April 7th, is being observed as World Health Day. The year has been set aside to recognize the contribution of nurses and midwives in making the world a healthier place. Here at home, the Acting Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Francis Martin, praised the efforts of local nurses, commending them as the frontline heroes in the fight against COVID-19 in Grenada.
I recall in public health across the world over the last decades or so, every possible and successful public health intervention that has taken place worldwide took place on the back of nurses. And so nurses have always played that pivotal role in public health response. And even in Grenada, I can speak firsthand to the dedication and the work in our COVID response thus far. When we were in the surveillance stage of our COVID response at our ports of entry, the nurses were pivotal there. Public health officers, the environmental health officers were also pivotal there. When we shift to importation and local transmission, the nurses were the vanguard.
Martin recognized those, especially in the community health facilities.
I really want to take an opportunity to not necessarily single out, but to speak specifically to our public health nurses in the communities, the Lions, the Neds, and the Thomases, and Antoines and Swans. Those nurses have really stepped up and stood up to the challenge, getting out there and getting into the community and taking samples. My heart goes out to them, because if we didn't have them as our support, I'm not so sure we would have been having this conversation in the manner that we're doing it now. So really thankful to the nurses, especially our nurses here.
We can tell you the Division of Gender and Family Affairs issues an urgent call for action to protect midwives. This includes providing all midwives with the same personal protective equipment that other frontline health workers use to insulate themselves from contagion. The theme for World Health Day 2020 is Support Nurses and Midwives. Following our story on Monday evening relative to the 52 Grenadians stuck on board 2 cruise ships in Florida, government says it is contemplating its next move, whether to bring them home. During the press conference on Monday, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, who also holds the responsibility for national security, was asked to address the plight of the cruise ship workers stranded on board due to the coronavirus.
It's a very difficult issue. It's not something we can say just bring them home, because clearly they're coming from infected areas, and therefore to bring all of them in one time, that means we'll have to have the facilities to quarantine all of them. And I'm afraid at this point in time, we do not necessarily, there's preparation being done. They have a right to come home, and they have a right to receive the support from us. But at the same time, there is a right also to protect all the citizens of this country from infection. So we have to balance this issue in a very serious way.
GBN, in an exclusive interview, spoke with one of the stranded workers, identified as Tracy from St. David, who appealed to the government to allow them entry into their country, promising that they are willing to be quarantined on arrival. You're watching News at 7. Still to come from us, banks and credit unions offer moratoriums and loans during COVID-19 crisis. And child abuse figures remain too high. Stay with us.
Easy living should be convenient. With Grennick, it is. Dial 237 for any Grenneck department, or for customer service, streetlight outages, or if it's unsafe to trim a tree near a power line. For streetlights and service issues, please note the pole number. From just about anywhere, you can also check your bill balance and other account information. Just keep your Grenneck access number handy. Dial 237 for Grenneck. It's that easy. Grenneck, energizing our Grenada.
One bad vibe and I'm out this. No, you can't stop this. We're out to get it with Lucas and day and night. Yeah, we're on this. I know you want this. Come on and taste the energy. Day and night, live your Lucas life. Live your Lucas life. Come taste the energy.
Good vibes only. Lucasade. Taste the energy.
So you're looking for doors and windows that look sophisticated and are very secure? Then St. Lou Metals is your one-stop shop. Our windows and doors make sure your home not only looks great, but is more secure. We manufacture shower enclosures, doors, windows for residential and commercial properties using high-grade material and the latest technology. If you want to save money and improve your home's appearance, you have made the right choice by shopping at St. Lou Metals. For a free quotation, visit us today at the Frequente Industrial Park or call us at 439-6538 or 439-6539.
Despite the situation we now face, one thing is for certain. We will get through this together. As much as we are a part of your community, you are a part of who we are. Let's take care of each other during this time, as we always do. And soon, we know that with the dawn of that new day, all of this will be over, and our land will once again be healed. In the meantime, stay safe. Know that we're here for you. Courts, bringing value home.
When I need shelter, warmth, security, I know you'll be there. Something in these moments lets me know you care. Maybe the way you shield me, maybe it's your smiles and the way you tell me it's okay to try. Now I'm invincible. I can pack my sack. I can take the long road. 'Cause it's okay to look back if I am scared. I know you're there. Arise, together there's no limit to what we can do. Arise, with no wings, fly. Arise, and we're so high, enjoy the view.
This is Ariza, your financial freedom, your future.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
Republic Bank assures all personal, small business, commercial, and corporate banking customers of our continued support during these uncertain times. We have extended a moratorium on all loans, including mortgages and student loans, for up to 6 months. However, there is an option to opt out of this arrangement only upon request. Late fees on credit cards, loan repayments, and overdrawn accounts are being waived, as well as penalties for early withdrawals of certificate of deposit accounts. These measures will be in place for 6 months. To opt out of the moratorium, please email us at customercare@republicgrenada.com by April 15th, 2020.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
This is news at 7. The World Bank Group is prepared to deploy up to $160 billion over the next 15 months to support COVID-19 measures. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell says government is actively pursuing this offer. We get more in this report.
The World Bank's Board of Executive Directors on Monday approved a first set of emergency support operations for developing countries around the world as its COVID-19 coronavirus response. The first group of projects, amounting to $1.9 billion, will assist 25 countries with new operations. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, during a news conference on Monday, spoke about the financial assistance being offered.
There are serious resources that will be made available to Grenada. Over $62 million for both private and public sector at 2% interest. And of course, the Caribbean Development Bank is also making, in fact, only this afternoon I had discussion with one leading economist of the Caribbean Development Bank for specific support. The World Bank has been in two meetings with the regional leaders about specific help. The IMF also. So we are touching all bases. UNDP has also provided some specific support. The European Union. We are touching base. The Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Finance and other agencies, they are working. Ambassadors abroad also in Brussels and other places are working.
In addition, the World Bank says it is working worldwide to redeploy resources in existing World Bank finance projects worth up to $1.7 billion. The Prime Minister said that each of the financial institutions offering assistance has certain conditions with request proposals which government is actively pursuing. He credits his government for the offers extended to Grenada.
One thing I can tell you is because Grenada has managed itself very well in the last 6-7 years, we are at the top of the list of any specific help to be given to the region. We would be one of the first persons that would qualify because of the way of manage our economy. So the opportunity for support looks very good, but we won't count the chicken before it's hatched.
The World Bank Group says it is prepared to deploy up to $160 billion over the next 15 months to support COVID-19 measures that will help countries respond to immediate health consequences of the pandemic and to bolster economic recovery. The broader economic program will aim to shorten the time to recovery, create conditions for growth, support small and medium enterprises, and to help protect the poor and the vulnerable. The World Bank says there will be a strong poverty focus in these operations with an emphasis on policy-based financing and protecting the poorest households and the environment. Cherian Blackman-Stephen, GBN News.
Meanwhile, financial institutions have offered a helping hand to people whose incomes have been severely affected by the coronavirus crisis. Several measures to support customers were discussed on Monday's Beyond the Headlines program. Jared Joseph reports.
Local banking institutions and credit unions are offering some relief to customers who have suffered the loss of income or diminished income. A 6-month moratorium on loans and a late fees waiver are being offered to customers affected by the coronavirus, which the president of the Grenada Bankers Association, Richard Duncan, says will be the first olive branch.
The point we want to underscore, however, is that people must assess their own financial circumstances and make a choice as to whether or not the extent of diminished income justifies wanting to have a moratorium. Not everything that is offered to people or carte blanche, everyone should take it up. Look at your own financial circumstance and make that choice.
Mr. Duncan notes that financial losses are nothing new to Grenadians after experiencing Hurricane Ivan and the financial crisis of 2008. He explains that the deferred payments will add the interest owed during the months unpaid, thus it will depend on the choice of the customer based on their individual situation.
A financial institution is as successful as its customers are. A financial institution cannot do better than the economy does. So, no financial institution now would want to foreclose on a bus because someone cannot pay. What are they going to do with this?
GUT Credit Union's General Manager, Letitia Boyd, was also on the panel via Skype. She highlights that protection of staff as well as client support have been given priority. Members of GUT who are experiencing a loss or reduced income are also being offered a 6-month moratorium, deferred payment, plus specified payment options to suit each individual customer.
And in many cases, one person's need is not the same as another person's need. So we have other options that members, if they wish, they can contact us and we can discuss with them as well in terms of those other payment modifications.
A care policy is another option being offered. Arise, a credit union, is also providing its clients with some relief, and its president, Javon Williams, impresses that a moratorium on loans for 3 months in the first instance is being offered. A 1-month waiver, among others, are additional benefits being provided to clients. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
In other news, April has been designated Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month. The theme, Time for Action, Stamp Out Child Abuse, is a continuation from last year's observance. Christina John tells us more.
The figures indicating the number of child abuse cases and neglect continues to be astonishingly high. This year, as the Child Protection Authority, in conjunction with the Grenada National Coalition on the Rights of the Child, observe Child Abuse and Awareness Month, the awareness drive intensifies on an issue that continues to plague the Grenadian society. Janelle Grant-Hamlet, the Public Relations Officer at the Child Protection Authority, highlighted the figures and the different forms of abuse that they are faced with at the authority.
Last year, 2019, 606 cases of child abuse and neglect were brought to the attention of the Child Protection Authority. That is 606 cases. In 2018, we received 628 cases. Although the figure 606 is less than 628, at the Child Protection Authority, we believe that 606 is still too many. The categories of abuse by order of most reported are sexual abuse, 140 cases, physical abuse, 110 cases, behavioral issues, 83 cases, neglect and abandonment, 75 cases, and the list goes on with the other forms of abuse.
Their mission is to put an end to this bane. Hamlet says each child is worthy of care and protection, indicating that with the outbreak of this virus, it should serve as a reminder that each family member is valuable.
One can be by trying to keep calm and managing stress positively. Now, dealing with COVID-19 as an adult is not an easy thing because it can be scary, it can be overwhelming, and you could imagine how it can be for the children as well. So we're asking parents to try to control your emotions as much as possible, especially when you are disciplining your children. You may find that they may be acting out a bit, and you can't blame them in a sense because they've been home for an extended period of time. They aren't able to play with their friends. They aren't able to, do the things that they would normally do, and so as a result, they may act out. We're asking parents to bear with them, be a bit more patient, try speaking to them, and try positive discipline. We're also asking families to take this opportunity to establish or to build a positive relationship with your children. Many parents, because they're so busy going to work and coming back home tired and having the different chores and so on to do, hardly know their children. Now we could consider this downtime that we can get to know our children, what they like, what they dislike, what their fears are, what their aspirations are, and so forth. We can share our experience with them as well, and we could learn from each other as a family
Hamlet is asking parents to be the child's best friend and give them that listening ear. Colin Pizarro, PRO of the GNCRC, says this year's advocacy will be conducted virtually. She reinforces the need for parents and others in communities to look after the well-being of their children. The CPA is at present using the social media platform to provide tips to guide parents. Christelina John, GBN News.
All right, time for GBN I Think question this evening. Should Spice Mass 2020 be cancelled in the face of COVID-19? Here are the views expressed by some of our Facebook followers. Carnival should be cancelled this year until further notice, as Grenada will be on lockdown longer than we think. Another asked this question: if Grenada Carnival is on, will it be Grenadians alone taking part? Before following up with a reply saying that we cannot open the airport and allow people with corona back into the country. One suggestion is that a national month of prayer should be held instead, while another follower says, I have been playing Carnival for the last 6 years and it's a hand-down yes for me. Cancel it. Our health comes first. Finally, this follower says, I think we should wait a few weeks before making a final decision because it's still quite a while away. Thank you so much for your responses. Still ahead in news at 7, earthquake felt across St. George, including Molinaire. And poultry farmers want to be considered as essential workers. We'll talk about that. See you in a while.
Communal, we are adapting to meet the changing needs of our shareholders and members. Times are changing, and with the changing times comes a whole new way to do business. Our parents may have done their banking a different way. Communal's state-of-the-art online banking and international debit card allows members to do business with great ease. It's like literally having a branch in your very own hands. Need a loan? Apply online from the comfort of your own home anywhere in the world, and your request will be dealt with remotely. Want to transfer between your accounts or another shareholder? No wait time for transactions to update. Voila! Who needs receipts when you can receive them via e-statements on your mobile device and save the environment? Not a communal member? You can join our family today by applying online. At Communal, we see you working hard to ensure that you save, invest, and grow. Communal, join us today. This will be the best financial decision you have ever made. My name is Hollis Mr. Killamap, and I endorse this message.
The Grenada Distillers Limited joins the government and people of Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique in the fight against COVID-19. Only together we can beat this pandemic. As a corporate citizen, we have temporarily stopped the production of rum, and our focus has been on the production of a sanitizing solution to assist in the fight against this dreadful pandemic. We have commenced free distribution to the senior citizens' homes, children's homes, and other vital organizations around the country, and made this product available to you at supermarkets and pharmacies island-wide. We encourage you to please listen and obey the guidelines issued by our health authority and the Royal Grenada Police Force. Together, and only together, we can beat COVID-19.
And so it begins, a journey like no other. Jungles so lush, they make emeralds jealous. Water that sparkles like diamonds. Mountains with more facets than precious gems. This is where good times are had, where love is strengthened, where memories are formed. all comes to an end, bring home something that will never fade. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
Esplanade Mall St. George's, Maurice Bishop International Airport, and Sandals Grenada Resort. Telephone number 230-1023.
It's detox time again at Nirvana Natural Health Clinic Detox Center. The festive season is over, so let's start 2020 looking and feeling like a boss with our many body cleansing options. Purchase detox products as low as $50. Purchase detox combo packs as low as $100. Receive 10% off on all in-house colonic irrigation treatments. Take control of your health now. Don't delay. Call us on 231-6642, 418-7115, or 449-7753. We are located in Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area. These offers are valid from January to March or while stocks last. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic Detox Center. Detox your way to health.
It's new, innovative and classy, and a cut above the rest. Your one-stop shop for bathtubs, kitchenette, customized doors and windows, and even a new paint job. We also sell quartz and solid surface countertops. At M&M Hardware, we offer best prices, excellent service, efficiency, and reliability. Visit us at Dusty Highway, Grandin, St. George, or call telephone number 440-6757. M&M Hardware, from foundation to roof. Let's build together.
Hello again. Seismic activity may be a contributing factor to the advanced deterioration of the Molyneux Main Road. Beverly Telesford has more.
While the rest of the island remains at a standstill, some things are still moving. GBN has been closely monitoring the dilapidation of the Molyneux Road since late last year. A 5.3 magnitude earthquake shook the island last night and prompted a revisit to the area. It was observed that the houses and buildings in the area continue to deteriorate. The buildings seem to have moved a bit further towards the seaside. The main road has dropped several feet since GBN last visited the site.
The condition of the road continues to deteriorate, taking with it everything along its edge. The road started showing signs of degradation since October 2019. 6 months later, the damage is alarming. Last evening's earthquake struck at 93 kilometers southeast of St. George's, Grenada. According to the University of West Indies Seismic Research Center, the quake occurred at 11:26 p.m. at a depth of 10 kilometers. It was reportedly felt in several areas. While the Molyneux Road has been completely blocked off to any form of traffic, it still poses a threat to people in the surrounding areas.
Reporting from Molyneux in St. George, I am Beverly Telesford.
This one to report, while some workers are being praised, the president of the Grenada Association of Poultry Producers says farmers continue to be among the unsung heroes in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic. Jason Phillips says even as recent as Monday during the Prime Minister's press conference, there was no concern shown for farmers.
And for reasons of food security, President of the Grenada Association of Poultry Producers, Jason Phillips, says while they appreciate the allowances given by government, they deserve more.
So logistics have not been put in place to cater for poultry farmers. Everything along the way has been a battle. And yet still, when the credits roll out, credit is being given to the frontline emergency workers. Credit is being given to the police officers who are on the front line, which we also endorse. But there's zero credit that is being given to the farmers who leave the safety of their homes every day to go to ensure that this country's food is secure and that the production continues.
During Monday's briefing, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell assured Grenadians that there is adequate amounts of food and vulnerable citizens will be provided for under the seed program. However, the Poultry Association president says there seems to be no regard for farmers who are also putting their lives at risk and have become vulnerable themselves due to the fallout in the tourism industry.
So part of what the Prime Minister said yesterday was the vulnerability factor is that they need to get verification for certain things, which we do agree. But nothing is put in place at this point to start gathering the data in any form or fashion for farmers so that any form of compensation can be given or form of assistance given to really get farmers through this rough period.
He made a passionate plea to the public to support local poultry farmers and buy their meat or eggs as the income is desperately needed.
We want to reassure the public that even this Thursday, we're working on having the old chicks come in to again replenish the stocks, right? So we're going through that process. The chicks are already ready to come from Barbados. We're going through the process now to have clearance for the aircraft to land, and the delivery is coming, and it is solely chicks that aircraft is coming in with. It is chartered specifically just to bring the old chicks to Grenada to keep the meat production going.
Citing the many compromises made by government, the Poultry Association believes direct financial relief and increased allowances are still urgently needed. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Stay with us now for this evening's GBN ISAW complements Clear Vision Eye Center.
A good eye captures all. GBN ISAW is brought to you by Clear Vision.
You know us, but we knew. You feel at home with every visit. An experienced team offering personalized courtier service and trendy brand name lifestyle products. We're changing the vision care landscape one customer at a time. Clear Vision Eye Center. People and technology coming together to help you see the world with a clearer vision.
I'm in the garden shelling cocoa. Lots of fun in the garden.
Tonight's ISAW features video footage of a young girl in the garden with her family removing cocoa beans from their pods. It is said in the video that she does this to sustain her love for cocoa tea. You can send in your photo and video submissions via our social media platforms.
Thank you very much. So inspiring. We'll be back with the weather. Stay close.
Tropical shipping is fast and reliable. Always on time, safe and affordable. Friendly staff here to connect you. Tropical worldwide, you must get you. Shop online and you get it on time. Hassle free to meet your deadline. Consolidate any size, any load. With tropical shipping, so we ship everything. I can't wait to ship with tropical. Can't wait. No package too big, too small. Cannot wait to ship with tropical. No package too big, too small. Just ship with tropical.
Local agents, George F. Huggins and Company, Grenada Limited. Telephone number 440-8787 or visit our website at www.tropical.com. Email us at grenadasales@tropical.com. Tropical Shipping, committed to island life.
How going on, boy? Hey, good old things. Hey, easy. Yeah. Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day. Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service. Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy. Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex, or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016, or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
The Grenada Distillers Limited joins the government and people of Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique in the fight against COVID-19. Only together we can beat this pandemic. As a corporate citizen, we have temporarily stopped the production of rum, and our focus has been on the production of a sanitizing solution to assist in the fight against this dreadful pandemic. We we have commenced free distribution to the senior citizens' homes, children's homes, and other vital organizations around the country, and made this product available to you at supermarkets and pharmacies island-wide. We encourage you to please listen and obey the guidelines issued by our health authority and the Royal Grenada Police Force. Together, and only together, we can beat COVID-19.
Keeping an eye on the weather, this is GBN. We've got you covered.
All right, weather for Grenada, Carriacou and Petite Martinique valid for tonight and the following 3 days. Weather tonight generally fair with a very low chance of isolated showers. Tonight's minimum temperature 23 degrees Celsius. Wind easterly to east-southeasterly at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Seas slight to moderate. Waves 3 to 5 feet in open water. Tides low at 10:45 p.m., high at 4:30 a.m. Sunrise tomorrow morning 6:01. The weather on Wednesday, the 8th day of April, mostly fair and breezy with a low chance of brief isolated afternoon showers. On Thursday the 9th, fair and breezy with a low chance of occasional isolated showers. And on Friday the 10th, generally fair and breezy with a low chance of isolated showers. That's the weather there for now. Up next, the sports news. Trinidad and Tobago Red Force coach Mervyn Dillon insists he is confident of keeping his job despite the post recently being advertised by the TTCB. The 45-year-old former fast bowler took charge of the Twin Island Republic team in January of last year and has done a commendable job to date. After taking over a faltering Red Force team in the 2019 edition of the West Indies Championship, Dillon led the team to a 4th place finish with a record of 3 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses. In this season's edition of the West Indies 4-Day Championship, the Red Force finished 2nd to champions Barbados Pride. Its spell in charge has, however, not been without controversy. With Dillon's contract coming to an end at the end of this month, the position has been advertised. The coach, while insisting that he was not aware the post had been tendered, is confident he will be seen as the right man for the job. Well, Bayern Munich President Herbert Heine expects a significant decrease in transfer fees following the coronavirus pandemic. Deals worth in excess of 100 million euros have been commonplace in the past 4 years, with Neymar becoming the world's most expensive player when he joined Paris Saint-Germain for £222 million in August 2017. Bayern have been more conservative but broke their transfer record by splashing out 80 million euros on Lucas Hernandez last year. Links to Leroy Sane and Timo Werner led to suggestions the Bavarian giants were willing to break the bank again, but Heine believes the inflation in the market will have been stemmed by the proliferation of coronavirus. Revenues have dried up for the clubs across the world, with players at Bayern, Barcelona, Juventus and Atletico Madrid among those to take cuts while football is on hiatus. And England men's manager Gareth Southgate and women's boss Phil Neville are to take a 30% pay cut to their salaries as 2 of the Football Association's highest earning employees. Southgate earns $3 million a year, while Neville reportedly earns up to $300,000 a year as head coach of the Lionesses. Chief Executive Mark Bullingham said it was challenging times and did not take these decisions lightly. The government's furlough scheme is being looked at as a contingency plan. The Football Association said employees earning £50,000 or more a year will take a temporary pay reduction of 7.5%, while senior management agreed to a 15% cut. That is the sports news for now. Stay with us. We'll be back with Around the Globe. Time now for Around the Globe. The Guyana Elections Commission, GCOM, on Monday announced that it will be requesting the return of the high-level CARICOM team to give validation to the national recount of votes. Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley, says the situation in Guyana is worrying. We get more in this TV6 report.
I'm in touch with the chairman of CARICOM on a daily basis, more or less, sometimes on a nightly basis, because we normally communicate at all hours of the night. But speaking as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago and as a Caribbean person, I am very disappointed and also very concerned.
Dr. Rowley told TV6 when he went to Guyana along with a CARICOM team, he hoped the group's presence would have brought a position that would have led to a solution to the election stalemate.
I'm worried that an election of a month ago is a courthouse matter. I'm getting a feeling that this is not going to end well. I hope I'm wrong, but that feeling that the election in the court after a month after election day, I'm not having a good feeling about it.
Rowley said there was reason for more concern.
Became accusations against CARICOM and a legal challenge, a legal process. So we had to get out of there.
He is not sure where that leaves CARICOM now, as the matter remains troubling to him.
It cannot go on like this because it's not going to end well, and nobody's going to benefit from this in Guyana. We've had the opportunity to speak to all the leaders. I mean, we went to Guyana and we spoke to all leaders of political parties, 11 political parties.
He said there is too much at stake.
The headquarters of CARICOM is in Georgetown. So all of this is cause for concern. So we can't accept a situation where at the headquarters, in the headquarters territory, what is being threatened comes to pass.
This other one, security over New York's COVID-19 response has deepened after Governor Andrew Cuomo announced that the state recorded its highest single-day increase in virus deaths on Tuesday. The 731 deaths reported brought the total to 5,489 deaths and 138,836 infections. Authorities faced questions over their actions for at-risk people after an infected inmate at Rikers Jail died. As of Monday, 286 inmates and 331 staffers in New York City's jails have tested positive for the coronavirus. That's Around the Globe. In a moment, we'll remind you of the headlines. All right, we have to leave you now, but first a reminder of the headlines if you're just tuning into the news. COVID-19 testing to be done right here in Grenada. Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Francis Martin recognizes nurses, especially those at community health centers, on World Health Day. Earthquake felt across St. George, including Molyneux. Poultry farmers want to be considered as essential workers. We, of course, invite you now to tune into GBN Television. Coming up after the news, a special tribute to the late Raymond Smith, regional broadcast engineer and former station manager. All right, so that's coming up right after the news. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it, of course, will be aired at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online, gbn.gd, on GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other stories. I'm Kenroy, Baptiste. That's all from us in the newsroom for now. Goodbye.
If we were to talk about powerful organizations that have such power yet hit close to home, the Caribbean Broadcasting Union is the first one that comes to mind. Originally, the organization was a non-profit one formed back in 1970 for public service and commercial broadcasters in the Caribbean. Through expansion in the 1980s with innovative programming that united the attention of the people across the Caribbean, such as Carib Scoop, Caribbean Newsline, Caribbean News Review, Caribbean Business Weekly, Rhythm Express, and the Carib Vision Television News Exchange. From this alone, the Caribbean Broadcasting Union was bound to be destined for more. However, such an immense altitude of success did not come from mere luck or through an elaborate formula that required years of study. There is no secret to success. How many successful men do you know who never shared their story? Hard work and determination is what made this organization great. And not many men possess such attributes like Grenada's very own Ray Smith.
They invited someone to speak, and the other islands, Jamaica didn't want Barbados, Barbados didn't want Trinidad, etc. But Grenada, we were afraid of Grenada, but we were the only ones that could be heard. Anyway, as a result of that, I was asked to speak on behalf.
The conception of such a powerhouse came from simply attending a Commonwealth Broadcasting Conference in Jamaica. The Windward Islands Broadcasting Service had the ability to broadcast the conference, but a speaker was needed. None other than Ray Smith took the responsibility under the vaguely described portfolio at the time as member of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union.
There was an information conference in Guyana funded by the British Information Office, I believe, and it was to mark an event that was happening in Guyana. And they invited someone from the Caribbean Broadcasting Union to speak. It fell on my shoulders, and that is really the first time when we used the expression in a formal way.
This event became the catalyst, causing the Caribbean Broadcasting Union to be known across the region. Mr. Smith was able to become more than just a key speaker at such a prestigious event. He became a voice for the Caribbean, and a powerful one at it too. He remembers relating to a Nigerian whose government had been going through a revolution around the same timing as Grenada's own revolt. His elaborate ways of thinking allowed him to find a consensus with what the Nigerian delegate was comfortable with and didn't think he would lose his life over.
So Those were terrible days, difficult times. So that the Caribbean has an interesting background. Grenada fell into a place because of its technical capability to be heard, and the fact that everybody loved cricket and wanted to be heard all over the Caribbean. And we put special broadcasts to Europe where it could be broadcast.
It wasn't all a bed of roses either. See, the material that keeps out sound from inside of the booth is made of a sophisticated foam. Back in the early days, studios were made out of coconut fiber.
The delegate got up and said, but what you don't know is this: we read in the Commonwealth Broadcasting book what you had done, and we were only copying what had done in Grenada. So we invented a way of using this material to create a low-cost broadcasting organization.
Ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure is mine to announce the 2016 inductee into the Caribbean Broadcasting Union Hall of Fame.
And enabling us to share these little histories.